Hello, welcome to this video lesson. Reading difficulty is often the result of a host of interactive factors or contributing causes. These factors may be classified as cognitive, language-based, emotional, physical, social-cultural, economic, and educational. Although each of these major factors will be discussed in isolation, it should be emphasized that often no one factor causes reading problems. In general, the cause is an interaction of several factors. In this video lesson, you will be discussing physical factors. In a holistic assessment, it is important to look at the student's mental and physical condition. Neurological and health factors, as well as vision and hearing, need to be considered. Let's begin with neurological factors. The most severe instances of reading difficulty, and perhaps some less severe cases, are caused or complicated by variation in neurological development, including subtle damage or changes in neurological organization that may not be readily apparent. Differences in laterality have been noted to contribute to reading difficulty. Laterality means that one side of the brain, usually the left, is dominant for language activities. In a research study, struggling readers whose brain were more lateralized were faster at processing words. Functional disruptions in the areas around the angular gyrus were also found. For students with dyslexia, there was a weakened connectivity in the left hemisphere between the angular gyrus and the temporal and occipital lobes. In the past, most children with serious hearing problems were taught in residential schools or day schools and had special full-time programs. Today, more and more students are being taught within the regular classroom. With inclusion, it is important that the classroom teacher and reading specialist have a basic understanding of hearing difficulties. Under hearing impairments, let's discuss the degree of physical loss, the extent of impairment, the reading teacher's role, high-frequency loss, and the use of frequency-modulated systems. Hearing loss is measured in terms of pitch and intensity. Sound waves vibrate. The number of vibrations or cycles per second is the sound wave's pitch or frequency, which is measured as a unit known as the hertz. The higher the frequency, the higher the hertz. Humans are sensitive sounds in the 20 to 20,000 hertz range, but testing is generally done in the 125 to 8,000 range, which encompasses speech frequencies. There may be loss across all frequencies, or a loss in specific frequencies. In addition to measuring pitch, the intensity or loudness of sounds is also assessed. The higher the decibel level, the louder the sound. A whisper is 20 decibels. Conversation about 55 to 60. Heavy traffic 90, and thunder 120. Losses from 20 to 60 decibels are classified as mild or moderate. From 60 to 80, severe, and 90 or above are profound. While hearing loss can be measured in terms of frequencies and decibels, the extent of impairment depends on the number of factors. Generally speaking, the earlier the loss, the more profound its impact. While early intervention can significantly lessen the negative effects of hearing loss, children who have hearing impairment have a more difficult time learning vocabulary, grammar, word order, and idiomatic expressions. While cases of severe and profound hearing impairment are generally handled by speech and hearing specialists, the classroom teacher can help by noting children who seem to have undetected hearing difficulties and referring them for testing, by making appropriate program adjustments, and by collaborating with the speech therapists. Signs of possible hearing problems include talking too loudly or too softly, poor articulation, asking to have directions repeated, difficulty listening, and frequent ear infections. It is especially important for teachers of young children to be on the lookout for signs of otist media. One type of impairment that sometimes evades detection is high-frequency hearing loss. Students can hear sounds in the lower range, which includes vowel sounds and, to a lesser extent, most consonants. However, students are unable to hear certain consonants, such as f, s, and th, which are at the highest end of the range. Since students can hear most speech sounds and understand some words, their impairment may escape detection, especially if only a few consonants are involved. However, because they miss some words, these students find school confusing and, of course, have special difficulty learning letter-sound relationships, especially consonant correspondences. Frequency-modulated systems and other aids are frequently used to help students who have hearing impairment. An FM system amplifies the teacher's voice, but because the microphone is close to the teacher's mouth, it does not amplify background noises. For students with hearing loss, background noise, reverberation of sounds, and distance from the speaker can make hearing more difficult. It is helpful if students with hearing loss are provided with preferential seating and steps are taken to reduce reverberation, such as putting tennis balls on the legs of chairs and desks. Vision impairment is one of the most prevalent disabling conditions among children. Approximately 6.8% of children younger than 18 years have a diagnosed eye and vision condition. Although poor vision is rarely a cause of poor reading, blurred, fuzzy, or strained vision can certainly add to the problem. Vision is initiated when light rays from an object enter the cornea and pass through the lens and focus on the retina. In order for the light rays to be focused on the retina, the eye must be properly shaped. If the eyeball is too long, light rays fall in front of the retina, resulting in nearsightedness or myopia. If the eyeball is too short, light rays fall behind the retina, resulting in farsightedness or hyperopia. Astigmatism, a third structural defect, results from an irregular curvature of the cornea and causes a blurred or misshapen image, which can cause eye strain. All three conditions can be corrected with lenses. Acuity of vision is not sufficient. It is possible to have physically perfect vision system, but still have vision problems. Vision is functional, a learned act. Through experience, humans literally learn to see. For example, because we have two eyes, we really see two images, but we learn to fuse them into one. A student's eye must also function in such a way that he or she can see a single object at all working distances. Accommodation and convergence mechanisms must work in tandem. In accommodation, the shape of the lens is adjusted according to the distance of the target object. In convergent, a group of 6 pairs of muscles move the eye so that they focus on the object. Two visual conditions that contribute to reading difficulties include strabismus, a condition in which the eyes are misaligned and point in different directions, and insufficient convergence, which means the eyes are not fixating on the same spot at near point. Because these conditions strain the visual system, eyes may become tired, with resulting redness, itching, and burning. A headache may ensue. Some other vision impairments include amblyopia, a serious problem that can be caused by strabismus, and color blindness. It is important to be aware of children's ability to see color. Color blindness cannot be corrected and does not affect reading directly. However, it can be a source of confusion when teaching students how to read color names, or when reading stories in which color figures prominently, or when materials are color-coded. Children who are colorblind should be aware of their condition and taught strategies for adapting. Although auditory and linguistic abilities are more important to reading than visual skills, visual processing does play a varied, sometimes surprising, role in reading. While linguistic coding and other deficits seem to be a major cause of reading disability, visual processing deficits may be complicating factors. In a series of studies, neuroscientists and vision specialists found that some poor readers were slower or less efficient at processing visual information. They postulate that disabled readers may have a visual attention deficiency that impacts fluency. Unfortunately, more and more children are living in potentially stressful environments. The number of children raised in foster care has increased by more than half. More than 1 child in 3 is being raised in a single-parent home. Nearly 1 child in 3 lives in a home where no parent has full-time year-round employment. More than 1 million students are homeless. There is also an increase in child abuse and violence in the lives of children. These factors are having negative impact on the emotional and cognitive development of children, and of course, on their reading and writing development. The child's reading and writing difficulties should be considered in the total content of all the children's needs.